Bob TV Network presents, broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world, New York City. It's the Bobby Brown Show. And now here's your host, Bobby Brown.
Well, good day, good evening. I would say good night, but I'm here to get this stuff off my chest right now. I hope you guys can see me pretty clearly. I've been having issues as usual, so that's the reason why I'm late again. Plus, I really need to check on somebody I love. I haven't heard from all day, so I want to make sure that they're all right. I'm going to make this a quick one. It is Wednesday, and it's 11:45. I don't want to be here too long, and I know you guys got things to do. And, I'm not... you're supposed to believe that you receive and expect things to happen. So I'm always expecting people to come on, and I'm expecting a certain amount of numbers and things like that. I know I'm only going to cater to a remnant, and it's okay. I'm not trying to get a million. I'm not trying to, just a remnant of people that kind of feel my heart, feel my passion, yet I can feel their heart and feel their passion. And one of the first stories I want to talk about today is the fact that the federal grand jury charged 3 men with hate crimes attempting kidnapping in Ahmaud Arbery's shooting. Now, you remember Ahmaud Arbery? That was the brother that was gunned down by some white supremacist bigots who just felt like killing a black man for some reason. And it is pathetic from what I heard from reading this, and I'm going to go over this and let you understand what it is. It say Arbery was killed while out for a jog in Georgia, February 2020. Now, this is my whole point that I tried to make to people who think that I'm being insensitive to the Asian hate situation. I'm not insensitive to nobody being harmed. Nobody being harmed. Not insensitive at all. And to charge me for that would be wrong. However, I am insensitive when people are not sensitive about the fact that you can't even be a black man jogging from your mama house without some random idiot killing you, hunting you down like prey. Now, violence is violence, and it's wrong, and it should never happen, especially in this country. But you got people that are nutso in their head; they're not right in their head. You got people that are full of hate. That's totally different from nutsos. Just person just full of hate. You can be a smart person full of hate. You can't be black in this country and take a little jog. Little stroll. Well, buddy, he was cutting across people's yard. What that got to do? And he still ain't got to kill that man. Call the police if it's trespassing. You call the cops. Now you got some RoboCop, a cop that retired. Man. And my sister live in Georgia, not too far from that area. And here I am. I got to worry about myself here in New York. I got to worry about my brother out in South Carolina, who's a retired military, but and he ain't no small dude. And look, he believe in his constitutional rights. Exercise them every day. And teach and preach it. But I worry about him. I'm going to try to calm down because this article kind of ticked me off. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on the screen for you. Give me a moment. There we go. Now, let me bring myself back up because I got to do this Every episode, I have to do this, okay, folks? So just don't get mad at me. Bear with me. This is something I got to use so I can declare this in good faith. This work contains fair use of copyrighted and non-copyrighted images from the public domain in the web for non-commercial and non-profit educational purposes. Okay? There's no profit. This is not a commercial. This work is distributed free of charge. Not charging nobody. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. You know how y'all do. The author has neither monetized this work, never monetized these channels. Matter of fact, I'd rather starve than let YouTube try to make me be at the hands and feet of their so-called monetized system. And every time I do work hard to put a video up, they strike me claiming this, it's unadvertised. It's not advertiser friendly, so we can't do anything. So why are you showing the advertising on my stuff anyway? And it don't supposed to be advertiser friendly. Just don't advertise on my stuff. You want to make a profit, but you won't let me make a profit. So how about this? Stop trying to profit off my videos. Guys, you remember when YouTube used to be broadcast yourself? This is before they got bought out by Google. Because you had the big bid war between Vidler, YouTube, Google TV, and all that kind of stuff. Google Videos, that was the name of it. And Google got a little more money and bought YouTube out. And the original person who started YouTube was all about you broadcasting yourself. But he sold out and the money was too good. He got billions for it too. I can't say I don't blame him. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use flips the balance in favor of fair use. You hear that? Millennial people on YouTube know you need to stop checking my stuff. You see this up here? Go ahead and leave my video alone. Don't play games with me. Because I do have legal representation. Matter of fact, I help other people get legal representation. This work contained original work of commentary and critical analysis. Quotations are attributed to the original authors and its sources. Now back to our regular scheduled program. George Stephanopoulos, Snuffleupagus, whatever his name, this is what he had to say.
The young black man who was gunned down while jogging 1 year ago in Georgia. The suit cites 3 men in Arbery's death and alleges a cover-up by local law enforcement. Steve Osunsami has the latest.
This disturbing cell phone video that shows the last few moments of Ahmaud Arbery's life.
Now I'm going to stop this. You see, the brother is just jogging home. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use. This young black man was just leaving his mom's house. And that's why I'm not a fan of Keisha Bottoms. And I hate to say it, most of our black female leaders are so weak when it comes to dealing with stuff like that. Heck, the black male leaders are weak. So just because you think you got a black female in the position of mayor or attorney general or something like that, don't mean that they're going to do anything for you. Don't mean they're going to really fight for you. They'll come out there during a protest and talk that talk, spit game, but they ain't going to do nothing. Matter of fact, they're going to double down with the police, double down with law enforcement. Matter of fact, give them more money. Like Joe Biden said he's going to do. I want to give more money to them. Bro, they got enough money. You're the reason why these fools do this stuff in the first place. Let me read the article. I don't even want to go through the video. Go to ABC News because it upsets me even more. Even this article upset me. It said a federal grand jury has charged 3 men with hate crimes. Not with murder, not with manslaughter. No, as I read the article, may be there, but no, 3 men with hate crimes and attempted kidnapping in the fatal shooting of Ahmaud Arbery in February 2020. The man wasn't trying to kidnap that boy. They intended on murdering him just like they did. Can't jog home from your mama house. You can't take a hard day's work trying to help save people's lives as an EMT without coming home and, taking care of your sweetheart, waking up to somebody busting in your house, leaving you there butt ball naked, and you get gunned down. The federal grand jury has charged the 3 men with hate crimes and attempted kidnapping. That's it? That's all you gonna give this man, these people. Travis McMichael, 35. Travis' father, Gregory McMichael, 65. So you trying to tell me this is the new father and son hangout gang? Let's go hunt Negroes. And William Rhodey Bryan, 51, have each been charged with 1 count of interference of rights and attempted kidnapping. What? April 28, 2021, y'all just charging these people I gotta keep this up here because it tears me, man. It tears me. That if a black man is in the vicinity of an Asian neighborhood and some Asian get attacked by another Asian, they gonna look for the black guy. They ain't gonna even think Asian. And I say that because whatever community you are in, that's going to be the level or of the crime that you're in. In other words, if you're in a predominantly white neighborhood, most of the crime is going to happen from white people, but they don't want to talk about white on white crime. Now all they want to talk about is what about black on black crime? Well, of course, black on black crime is going to happen primarily in the black neighborhoods because you got fools and idiots for whatever reason. It could be, justifiable reasons, I say, but it's still stupid to do it. I mean, your baby ain't got no Pampers, there's no food to eat, and you ain't got no job, and they cut your food stamps. You because you can't get them for some reason. You'll be tempted to do some stupid stuff, and I said it is stupid. And you shouldn't do it, and just find other ways and pray to God. If you believe in God, I do. Pray to God there's some door open where you can take care of your family. It's a shame. First thing happened, they looking for a black man and get upset when they find out it's a white guy. And they say stupid stuff like John had a bad day today. John was frustrated, so frustrated he went out and killed 14 or 10 or 4 Asians, and he was having a bad day. But a black man could be homeless, still in his cardboard box, and you're going to pull him up and assume that and say he did it. These guys was charged with interference of rights and attempted kidnapping. While Michaels were each charged with using, carrying, and brandishing a firearm in relations to a crime of violence. Now, these are things I never really heard of. Man, we have a gun, man. I mean, we have a gun. They just... let me keep going. I'm getting upset. All 3 men had been arrested months after the shooting. In June, a Glenn County grand jury voted to indict all 3 for felony murder, malice murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal contempt to commit a felony in the death of Arbery. Now, I want you to hear the key word. The grand jury voted to indict them. Indict and convicted is not the same thing. I want you to get this. Indict and conviction is not the same thing. They each have pleaded not guilty and have been ordered to stand trial later this year. How in the... Calm down, man. I've been doing good with my blood pressure. How in the heaven and hell you gonna sit there and say, well, I'm not guilty? That boy was minding his own business. The moment y'all roll up on there, he's trying to defend himself. And you want to say, well, I had to kill him because he was trying to defend himself. The boy didn't have no gun. You had the gun. Sad part is these people, you never know who these people, man. White supremacists are so incognito, you never know where they are. They can be sitting right next to you at work. They could be your partners on the force. They can I mean, you know, they can be working with you at freaking Krispy Kreme donuts. Could be your manager, or could be the co-worker. They have been pleaded not guilty and have been ordered to stand trial later this year. Arbery 25, a black man was killed while jogging in the neighborhood. Can't believe this. Killed while jogging. Killed while jogging. You're trying to get healthy. You're trying to be healthy to live a long life. And you murdered. A black man was killed while jogging in the neighborhood of Satilla Shores in Brunswick, Georgia, February 23rd, 2020. This brother don't even really know what COVID was. Gregory Michael, a retired investigator with the Brunswick District Attorney who previously served as Glenn County Police Officer, saw Arbery and assumed he was the person who committed several break-ins in the neighborhood, according to a police report. He and his son grabbed their guns, a .357 Magnum and shotgun respectively, and jumped into a white pickup truck, authorities say. So you got to be the assumer. You're no longer police. You're not doing a proper investigation. So you're just assuming. You assume it's the black guy that did it. You can assume it was another white guy or white person visiting others in the neighborhood that been riding around scoping the place. So you just assume it was the black guy. So you decide, instead of confronting him without the guns, because he's just jogging, he's jogging home, exercising, as you saw in the video. Getting a little trot in. You decided that you got to pull out guns. You expect me to buy that you just wanted to confront him about some break-ins? You're not the law. You're not the police. And if he decide to run, you don't have a right to shoot them. Well, it's a citizen's arrest. Man, take that crap and wipe your behind with it, man. And after you wipe your behind with it, whatever it is, put it in your mouth. Yeah, .357 Magnum and a shotgun. Let's go over here and let's have a little talk with this boy. Boy, what you doing in this neighborhood? You're in the wrong neighborhood. Just like that other fool over there in South Carolina, which my brother had the chance to do some reporting on. I'm going to show you the video soon when I do a report on that. My real brother, my blood brother. Oh, you're in the wrong neighborhood, boy. Who in the heck? Negro, you don't own no neighborhoods. You might own a house, but you don't own a freaking neighborhood. driver. They jumped in their white pickup truck. That figures. You don't get in a white pickup truck. Not the black pickup truck. Not the black car. Not the SUV. But a white pickup truck. White power. All in this white pickup truck. Boy, I buy everything white. Everything. Everything in my house is white. Yeah, I sure like them black girls, though. I remember one time, man, me and my church was riding down to Oklahoma to a convention down there. Started to get some gas, and we was in that. I mean, it was a nice drive. So we went to use the bathroom. So this white guy went to use, he was washing his hand. I mean, we were trying to be cordial. He gonna leave the water on, he gonna he gonna look around and say, now one of y'all boys turn that water off. Now, mind you, my pastor, you know, we going on church events, and my pastor's like, what did he say? My pastor was about to go off. I said, he told us to turn that water off, boy. Now, had it been my other boys, not my church boys, but my other boys, oh, we gonna turn that water off. We gonna turn that water off with your face. But we had women and children, so we had to kind of watch our step on how we handle that situation. So we just ignored it. My boy Vance was like, yo, I turned that water all right. I turned that water off with my fist in his throat. So Vance was ready to pop off on dude. So a bunch of them gonna ride into the, I guess, you know, they saw us in the name. I mean, it was one of the mountain areas too in West Virginia. So here come a whole bunch of good old boys, and one of them had a lowrider pumping the Snoop Dogg gin and juice. Talking about, when we get back here, y'all better be gone. Negro, you don't own the earth. Y'all better be gone. And you out your freaking mind, you don't own nothing. My white friends, y'all gotta check your white brothers on this stuff, man. It make y'all look bad. It's just like I have to check black people on stuff we do. And people check me on the stuff that I do. Because it don't represent us well. And I'm not going to let somebody misrepresent us. Not if I can help it. I do my best to stop it. Y'all sit there and let these people do this stupid stuff. You need to jack them up and say, fool, you don't own nothing around here. Aubrey was seen in the viral video struggling with Travis McMichael. He should have never been struggling. The guy should have never approached him. You should have let the boy continue to jog home. You got no evidence of him breaking in, and even if you did, you need to hand it over to the police and let them do it, and let us worry about the fear from the police versus the fear from a regular old neighborhood and the people that live in it. But no, we had to deal with some police officers, some, not all of them, some police officers' ignorance. We got to deal with neighborhood ignorance. The new federal indictment alleged that the three men intimidated and threatened Aubrey and interfered with his right to use public street, which was, dude was on a public street, he wasn't in a house. He paid taxes, that's his street too. His mama paid taxes, that's his street. Give a crap what neighborhood are you in. And the sidewalk is not yours. That brother in South Carolina was standing on the sidewalk dealing with that so-called Army officer. See, folks, they need to stop. No, you do stupid stuff like this when you violate somebody's rights and you're supposed to be military and you on purpose violating right, you need to be stripped of something concerning your military awardmanship, whatever you want to call it. You're supposed to be fighting for our rights, but you're going to come here and violate somebody else's right. You need to be stripped of your military statue. You did all that fighting, and you come to the Americans, spit right on. And they did it in the 60s. They did it in 50s, 40s. We went out here and fought in the front line of majority of these wars. We were majority in the front line of this wars. Our lives was being dealt with on the front lines of the wars. It wasn't the Asian, it wasn't the Latinos, and I'm not saying they didn't fight, but it was majority black people on the front lines dying for these for freedom in this country. We come back to the country, we got to deal with numbnuts like this. The new federal indictment alleged that the three men intimidated and threatened Arbery. No. Tell us something we don't know. With his right to use public street because Arbery race and color. It also alleged that all three chased Arbery in an attempt to restrain him, restrict his free movement, quarrel and detain him against his will and prevent his escape. So what they're doing is they're going to try to pile more charges on top of this charge, these few charges they got of attempted murder and all that, that they already been indicted on. Remember I said indicted, they're not charged of that, but they're going to try to indict them on these. These are new federal indictment charges stacked on top. No, there should have been more additional murder charges. I get caught with a bag of weed. Guess what? They're gonna charge me with the intent to use. Every state ain't there yet, people. They're gonna charge me with drug paraphernalia. They're gonna say I was trying to distribute it. They're gonna try to say I was selling it. And if I had some friends around me who didn't even know I had it in my pocket, they're going to charge them with the same thing. They stack charges on them. On the one-year anniversary of his death, Arbery's mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Georgia, alleging that the Michaels and Bryant were acting as surrogate police when he was killed, which they did. Now here come Benjamin Crump. God, I don't like that guy. Between him and Al Sharpton, they disgust me. Oh, we'll get you some money. Oh, we won't get you no conviction, but we'll get you some money. Oh, we're not going to bust our behind trying to point out the different laws that should be applied to the officers just like they applied to every other citizen. Oh, we ain't going to break our back trying to do that, but we will break our back trying to get a settlement. As long as we can get our 7-10%. Arbery family said the indictment was another step in the right direction. This is an important milestone in America's uphill march toward racial justice. How? And we applaud the Justice Department for treating this heinous act for what it is, a pure, evil, racially motivated hate crime, Crump said in a statement. Crump, I'm tired of you talking all this stuff. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. I don't want to hear about the settlements no more. I want to hear about some convictions. I want to hear about some charges. Well, you got the Derek Chauvin stuff. Well, we ain't even finished with that. I told you how it is in Minnesota. Robert Rubin, an attorney for Travis McMichael. Here we go. He said they were deeply disappointed that the Justice Department bought the false narrative that the media and state prosecutors have promulgated. False where, you mother. I get it, man. I get it. I mean, you know, a female dog is actually in the Webster Dictionary. The term is bitch. So, you know, for you Christians out there, I'm using the word properly. Because that's exactly what this attorney is, a female bitch, female dog. For you to say something like that, but yeah, you got to represent the people. You got to represent them. They got the right to due process, but we don't. Georgia laws allow citizens to detain a person who is committing burglary until police arrive. You did not catch this guy committing burglary, you idiot. You caught this guy running. You didn't catch him in the act of burglary. It's plenty of houses that get built. And I am a fan of homes, and I love homes. And when I used to go to Virginia and I would go to Masters Lane, they would build these beautiful mansions. Me and my son would stop at the home, get out, I would strap him up on my shoulder, and we would walk in and look at these beautiful homes. The home wasn't nowhere near finished. And what the heck I'm going to try to take out of the unfinished home with my son strapped to me on my chest or on my back? Our favorite pastime was dreaming. You had no evidence that this guy actually broke in. So stop using that as an excuse, Mr. Rubin. Guys, I'm gonna find out who this guy is and light him up. Well, you gotta be on Twitter somewhere. Surveillance video appeared to capture Arbery entering a property under construction before the shooting. Entering a property under construction before the shooting. But he didn't take anything from the house. His family lawyers and homeowners attorneys have said it. In other words, he do what a lot of people do. Wow, this is nice. Look at the beauty of this structure. Look at how they got the stairs. Look at, sometimes people do that. White people do that. They do that all the time, but all of a sudden black people can't do it. Rudy Bryan has committed no crime. That's what the attorney said in a statement. We look forward to a fair and speedy trial and to the day when Mr. Bryan is released and reunited with his family. Are you freaking kidding me? How about look for the day? Can you resurrect this brother from the dead so he could be reunited to his family? White people all day, every day, Asians, Indians, unless you're a black Indian, Indians, people all over the world, they go and look at property and they love the way it's built. People like to see how, from the foundation, how something is being built before the end result. I see that the church is doing a brand new church, a brand new Ephesus, and sometimes I stop by and take a look at the property, and I look inside. There's no signs say no. There's no signs around saying you cannot enter, or beware, or no trespassing. No signs in most of those places. A lot of these contractors would love for you to take a look at the structure, so maybe you can call them in for business. And like I said, I used to do that. I used to love doing that, man. I love designs of homes, and I like to see them before they get there. And I used to take my camera and go take pictures of it, and I would go every weekend. Just somebody could assume that I was trying to break in and still say, man, I ain't breaking in and stealing Jack. And this was in Virginia, a Commonwealth state. People do that all the time. Mostly white people do that. But are you looking to get him? I guarantee you this brother ain't the only person that ever walked up to an empty construction of a home that's not even completely built and probably just stood there and wowed. You don't know what that brother motivation. You don't know if that's something he wanted to do one day on his own, or because me, I love stuff like that. I watch videos of tiny homes. I love container homes. I just love that stuff, and I love the way people build it. I love looking at. So if I go look at one, you gonna assume that I'm breaking in? Well, there was some burglars going around. So what that have to do with me? Why are you assuming I did it? How you can't assume one of your neighbors didn't do it, or some people visiting your neighbor? Why you gotta assume the black man did it? And you got this dumb behind attorney talking all that trash. Can't wait to get released. Because most of the time, in confidence, he probably will. So you got to understand this. Georgia don't have an attorney general that's number one Democrat. That don't mean anything. Keith Ellison, half black, half, he's Muslim and, supposed to be a progressive. And he's trying to make a name for himself as attorney general. So he got to strike while the fire's hot. It is pretty much an urban mixture of multicolored city. So, of course, you're going to get a different conviction with Derek Chauvin. I'm not sure you're going to get that here in Georgia. Especially when you got lame duck sapsuckers like Keisha Lance Bottom. She talked the game, but she talked the game because she's trying to get some political power within the Democratic Party instead of focusing on really bringing it home for the people. How's she going to deal with the Republican or the conservative or the pretty much white supremacist right that runs the state of Georgia? Oh, folks, don't think just because they've got 2 seats in Georgia and because Joe Biden won the whole state of Georgia don't mean that the Democrats got a stronghold on the law in Georgia. No. And you do understand that there's white supremacists all in the Democratic Party too. These bigots ain't gonna just, especially in Georgia. So don't be oppressed because they piling on these charges for these 3 fools, these 3 numbnuts. And I call them fool numbnuts because what fool sit around and gonna get in the car and try to hunt somebody down and stop them with the guns, and you got no video evidence, nothing to prove that he was trying to break into, breaking in or he stole anything in that place. Only a fool do that. And folks, those are 3 fools, and they should face the death penalty. But they won't. They should at least get life in prison. But I doubt it. I doubt it. So I just wanted to bring that story up because, folks, you got to really continue to not let people slide with these excuses. There's no excuses for, you have no excuse. Black man, no man, red man, and especially white men. You have no excuses. Who in the hell are you to try to be the authority figure just because you used to be a cop? That ain't got nothing. You used to be one. You don't have no evidence, and if you have evidence of somebody breaking and entering, you need to turn it into the authorities and get the real police over there. Now, we got to worry about the real police when they come, but I'd rather take that chance of dealing with somebody that might not be a bigot than some bigots trying to tell me that I'm in the wrong neighborhood, because that's what they pretty much did. Send a message saying, you come in this neighborhood, you might die. Black activists should be reinforcing the fact that you don't own those neighborhoods and start marching up and down those streets. You don't own these streets and you don't own these sidewalks. You own that one house over there, bruh. You don't own the neighborhood. And I'm telling you, it's getting to the point now. This foolishness is going to stop one way or another. It ain't going to get any easier for you. The heat is going to be on. The people are fed up. And it's going to start happening toward these politicians too. But we're really going to start dealing with these people that get out of pocket. We ain't going to let you slide like that. We will come to your neighborhood. We will come to your street, and we will come to that sidewalk. We may not break the perimeters and come in your yard where you can try to shoot us, but shoot us on the sidewalk. You can't justify that when I ain't got no weapon. You're just going to make yourself look stupid. Anyway, folks, I'm done with that story. And let me go to the next one real quick. Well, it seems like it get worse. People in authority just violating people's rights every freaking day. Every freaking day. People of authority, and it get to be higher and higher, want to do stupid stuff. North Carolina judge reject bid. Let me pull this up so you can see it. North Carolina judge reject bids for public release of body cam video of Andrew Brown Jr. shooting. Tell you, man, these, I mean, it happens in the North too. North Carolina judge, Superior Court judge, has something to say different. But the North Carolina judge rejects a bid for public release of body cam video in Andrew Brown Jr. shooting. So you got a judge. I tell you, boy, you don't know where these guys at. You don't know who they are. It's like a Marvel movie with Heidenreich. You don't know who is Hell whatever his name. Hell Heidenreich. Hell Heiden, whatever his name. But Superior Court Judge Jeff Foster will allow for the man's immediate family and lawyers to view the footage in the next 10 days. Why are you just allowing the lawyer and the immediate family to view it within 6-10 days? Are you going to let the public view it? Because it's a public servant that did this to that brother. Why are you blocking the release of the body cam? The whole purpose of the body cam, and these are things that need to be pushed into law. You have no right to block a body cam. I don't care who you are. Kamala Harris was doing that crap in California, trying to slow her roll on releasing body cam footage, protecting the police officers instead of protecting the citizen. Yeah, sister girl. Black girl magic. Scary. Yeah, her. Sorority girl. Howard University. Whoop, whoop. Let's protect the cops and let's don't worry about the citizens. Now, look, I am from a place, I lived about 10, 15 years, and almost 20 years. In a place called Sulphur, Virginia, right on the border of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I used to hang in Elizabeth City all day and everything, man. Ran pretty good. Player. Women back then. That was those days when I was a straight up heathen. I was a straight up heathen, boy. I was 10, Elizabeth City, North Carolina. One of my biggest counts in my business. When I was doing business down there was Elizabeth City State University. Well, let's read this. The judge on Wednesday rejected bid. Now, you got to understand, Elizabeth City is a predominantly black town. Is beginning to be populated with more black people, but it is still steeped in white supremacy, bigotry, and racism. They used to bring in cargo and slaves into Elizabeth City. There's a beautiful port there in Elizabeth City, and they used to bring in the slaves right in that area. Matter of fact, they still got memorials up to it in the park in Elizabeth City. So I know that city very well. And you got some decent cops, majority of them good old boy cops. And it's one of those times where, as long as you don't try to come over and take over our neighborhood, we okay, boy. Stay on your side, and we'll stay on our side. So the bid to have the body camera footage of sheriff deputies shooting Andrew Brown Jr. released to public, but said the Mann family would be allowed to view it. Just the family. Oh, we don't want the whole world to see that, because then they'll be even more disgusted with us. We don't need them disgusted with the Elizabeth City Police Department and Sheriff Department. We just don't need that. I'm sorry, I can't show it. Superior Court Judge Jeff Foster said turning over footage to news media could affect the potential trial of a law enforcement officer who opened fire while serving a warrant on 42-year-old black man in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. No crap, Sherlock. Had your boys been doing what they're supposed to do, you wouldn't have to be worried about that. Had they did their proper protocol, like maybe this was proper protocol. Black man get out of pocket, gun him down. Gun him down. As a hip hop song say, buck him down, buck him down. He actually admitted, the judge actually admitted that, boy, if we show this, it's going to be kind of bad for this trial. It ain't going to make us look good. And let me tell you something, that's how majority of them boys down there talk like. Boy, I don't know, we should show this. You got guy, hey, and boy, wait, man. I mean, we horrible, but it's going to show the whole world how horrible we are. Covering up for the police. The judge, the governor, the mayor, the state attorney general. Now, we all know who the mayor is, but he ain't doing much. The release at the time would create a serious threat to the fair, impartial, or orderly administration of justice. How? You mean fair for you? Impartial for you? No, you want to keep this stuff hidden from the public view. Fair use. Because you know it's going to make you look bad. And you don't need something to make you look bad. You need to find any kind of way to make yourself look good or responsible. The release at this time. What time will it make it look like it's impartial, fair, and orderly? Because you can't change a video. A video in time is going to justify the whole situation. You killing this brother? Confidentiality is necessary to protect either an active internal or criminal investigation or potential internal or criminal investigation. Guys, I'm about to flip my freaking wig if I had one on. I will flip it about 14 times right now. This is a judge saying it's foolishness. And they elected this judge. Somebody elected this numbnut. He actually got the nerves to say out his mouth. Bad enough the police chiefs say that. Bad enough the sheriffs say that. Bad enough their attorneys say that. But we got the freaking judge saying that. And any governor or any politician in North Carolina that's not going to bring the heat on this foolishness and call this judge out, you're a doggone fool. Y'all should be publicly shaming this guy. The release at the time would create a serious threat to us, the bad guy. We're not going to get a fair, impartial, orderly administration of justice in this situation, but you're going to get it the way it's shown on the video. Foster ruled from the bench. Confidentiality is necessary to protect either, we read that mess. But Foster ordered the sheriff to allow Brown's family and lawyer to privately view the body cam footage for the deputies within the next 10 days. So you just going to bring more hurt and harm to the family by letting them watch this. To me, this is like a thumb up your nose. A bird. It's like a big F-U. It's like they just taking the fact that, yeah, we murdered your boy, what you gonna do about it, and cramming it up their butt. And taking it out and slapping them with it 15 times. They just want to screw this family over and over and over again by showing them the footage. Don't show me the footage. I can't handle it. But you can show it to the public. How about trade me for the public? Let the public see it. Because I'm only one person that's going to be looking at you with a skewed eye. And deep down on the side want to slap you and hurt you. Nobody wants to view over and over again their child being murdered. or their uncle or cousin being murdered. Nobody wants to do that. But show it one time for the public. You don't want to do that because you're scared. You're a bunch of bitches. Female dogs. The judge also said he'd revisit the issue in 30 to 45 days once the investigation. Who in the hell is this judge to make that decision on something that's so valuable and so meaning? Who in the world are you? Somebody should be overriding this guy. This is not judges. This is a judge. Another white supremacist, bigoted judge that's so pro-police that the police can do no wrong when 9 times 10, in this case, the police did do wrong. Let us determine that. Let the public determine whether he did a wrong or not. Not you. You ain't the only judge. There's something called the public judgment. Well, we may revisit this issue in 30, 45 days. As of right now, nobody's looking at it. I may let the family look at it. I may let them look at it, I may just rub this in their face 4 or 5 more times. It just thrills me to see the hurt and pain in their eyes as they see their good old sweet Uncle Joe. The court will, in its discretion, consider at the time further release of the video based on the factors as they exist at that time, Foster said. Brown family took little solace in the Judge Foster ruling, of course, that allowed only private viewing of the footage. Lillian Brown, Clark Brown's aunt, said it'll be up to those few people allowed to see the tape to now speak on Brown's behalf. So in other words, the only people can speak for them because they don't want this to get to the public, because they know if this to get to the public, we might have another Derek Chauvin situation. Andrew has been deliberately silenced. His voice now will be the cameras and the families of the attorney. That's why, folks, I am for anytime you see somebody getting stopped by the police department, you have a right to pull out your camera and go live. Don't do the video. Go live. Facebook Live right on the spot. Now, the organization that I'm working with, they have 24 hours, 7 days a week, access to attorneys in emergency situation, and I'm pushing for them to do more video of the attorney advising. Since they do it 24 hours, 7 days a week, emergency situation, no matter, I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, on Christmas, you have access to an attorney that's going to represent you, and oftentimes they will represent you by speakerphone, but we're pushing that they get a bird's eye view of what's going on in their car. This is something that we're advocating for the company to do. Yes, it's a company. Unfortunately, organizations won't take on the thing, but this is a company that's doing that. They're doing whatever they can to make access to justice super affordable for people. Now, should it be free? Yeah. But right now it's not that. And just like me, we don't have Medicare for all for now, but for me right now, I got health insurance. I'm not going to walk around with no health insurance because we don't have Medicare for all now. I'm going to get the cheapest health insurance I can, as long as it provide me some good quality services. And I do have health insurance. Just because I have health insurance don't mean I don't believe health insurance should not be at no cost. I do. But I'll take a low for now. I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to get health insurance until they get Medicare for all. If you do that, you're a fool, man. I can see if you don't have a job. I mean, in the state of New York, I'm getting off track. In the state of New York, man, they make this stuff so affordable for you to have health care. If you don't have income, you can get the services for free, $0. So don't be no fool and just say, I ain't going to get no health care unless we get Medicare for all. You better go out there and get you some health care and just keep fighting the fight. I don't know if your state do that, but check with your state, get you some health insurance. Boy, if I told you how much my health insurance costs right now, boy, you would like, you got it for how much? Dude, almost free. almost free here in New York. So I lied about that. Anyway, back on this. Only the family gonna be able to speak for this guy. Only the family going to be able to see this. But let me keep going. Andrew has deliberately been silenced. His voice now will be the cameras and the family and the attorneys, but we must hear what he has to say by looking at those cameras. Brown Clark told NBC News at Brown's home Wednesday afternoon. And I don't know why law enforcement people have this weird obsession with killing our black men, and they do. Now, look. I am not for violence of any kind unless somebody's trying to hurt you. I don't care if you're a little baby with a knife. If you 3 years old, 5 months old, and nah, it ain't that bad. But look, it don't matter. If you look like you can really harm me, and I'm gonna really make that hard judgment. I'm just not gonna assume that you harm me. My first goal is, can I take you without taking you out? Can I take you? Can I take you and take that away from you without taking you out? That's my first judgment. And if I can see a way of doing that, that's the route I'm going. Now, if you launching at me with that weapon and I don't feel no way I can take myself out, and I got something that could stop you while you launching at me, pow, pow, pow. But most of our cases, we're not doing launching. Like I told you before, there was this one guy just was fixing his mother doorbell. He turned around with the screwdriver in front, and the cop shot him. It was no threat. Well, you trying to kill them police officers, which the man was fixing to stop with this foolishness. And it's usually Republicans or conservatives talking this talk. Trying to just make justifications for this foolishness just because they got a badge. Like, cops don't make any bad judgment. They do, because they're human beings. I don't know why law enforcement people have this weird obsession with killing our black men. She didn't say Latino. She didn't say Asian. She didn't say white. Black. It's like an obsession. It just don't make any sense. In many states, the law enforcement footage, such as video shot from the dashboard of the police cars or officer's body camera, is considered a public record and create a defined, simple path for that to be publicly released. Now, this is what I would advise the family. Get with an attorney and go ahead and get your FOIA requests in and position it to a higher court. Because obviously this guy is probably a bigot. He's probably a part of the white hood club anyway. And just cause, let's say he is black, it still don't mean nothing. There's just many black people, there's white supremacists too. They more concerned about white power staying than black people gaining power. District Attorney Andrew Womble also said Brown's car can be seen in footage moving backwards and then forward each time making contact with the officers. Okay. As it backs up, it does make contact with law enforcement officers. At this point, the car is stationary. There's no movement and the officers are positioned around the car. The next movement of the car is forward, and it is in the direction of the law enforcement and make contact with the law enforcement officer. It is then and only then that you hear shots. Now, District Attorney Andrew Womble, we, the people, are not in this game of what you saw. We don't care about what you saw. We honestly, we don't even care what the family see. We don't care what the cops see. We don't care what the judge see. We want to see this ourselves. Don't be telling me what happened. Let us see what happened. You got the body cam footage. Don't try to describe me and be a narrator like James Earl Jones or somebody. Man, let us see it. Attorney Michael J. Taddick, who is representing news media outlets, said there is an absolutely public interest. This is an absolute public interest in releasing this recording. The petitioners are not here to indict or vindicate law enforcement. The petitioners are not here to indict or vindicate Mr. Brown. They're here in the interest of advocating for transparency in hopes of aiding a national conversation we find ourselves in about citizens interacting with police, mainly black people. And Rob, you always putting that there. Yeah. Pasquotank County, Lord knows. That speaks enough. Anytime they got a Native American name, and Native Americans are not the primary authority in that area, not that will make any difference. But you know you're gonna have some stuff going on. It's like Virginia. Most of the counties are Native American names, but they white supremacists as they come. Michael Cox said the sheriff office supports release of videos. All right, then release it. If you support it, then sheriff, you go advocate for the release of that. Tell the judge, look, judge, release it. Release it. We want to protect the independent investigation by the SBI as well as the FBI, Cox said. However, we do not believe the release of this footage would impeded those inquiries in any way. But Womble opposed the immediate release of footage, supporting just a private showing to the Brown family. He said widespread determination would hurt his chances in seeking a fair possible trial against deputies. Widespread dissemination would hurt his chances of seeking a fair so you want to make sure the deputies get a fair trial. And you believe showing the video will hurt that. How? Explain it, because so far you haven't explained nothing. How will it hurt? They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Let me tell you something. It's hurting you guys now just by not showing it. You guys, you look like a fool. It look like you're trying to cover up the house, and you worse than freaking Rahm Emanuel. Obama buddy, Obama chief of staff, covering up for police officers instead of fighting for the crimes of a black kid. I mean, fighting for the crime that happened to a black kid. You cannot swing a skunk in front of a group of people and ask them not to smell it, Womble argued. Boy, I tell you, that's country talk for you. That's that county talk for you, Pascagoula, whatever it is. You cannot swing a skunk in front of a group of people and ask them not to smell it. Well, that is true. Maybe you shouldn't be a skunk. The prosecutor promised to make a decision on possible charges in 30 days. Well, you know, we promised to make a decision whether we're going to charge this person or not in 30 days. Why you can't charge them right away? Why you can't charge these people right away, take their badge from them, fire them, no pension, no nothing, and if for some reason they end up being innocent, then you restore and give them back pay. You can't do it because you know you're guilty. You're guilty as they come. No, you make yourself look guilty just by not showing it. An attorney, H.P. Williams, boy, it's a lot of attorneys in this affair, representing law enforcement involved in the arrest, said his clients also oppose release of footage. Of course the cops don't want this footage released. Come on. The officers. I'm going to read the rest of this without... This is pathetic. This is pathetic, man. The officers are very distraught over what happened, Williams said. They feel for the families of Andrew Brown. If they feel for the families of Andrew Brown, release the footage. The officers are distraught. I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to do that. I wish I didn't have to do that. Then why'd you do it? Let me tell you something, man. I was messing with this girl, man. I was in my 20s. And we broke up. That girl tried to run me over. But she couldn't. Because she would have hurt herself. Because I ran somewhere where if she ran me over, she would die first before I died. There's no excuses for this mess, man. There's no excuses. Like you tell us, you do the crime, you must do the time. And for you people out there that think police officers don't do wrong, they don't commit crime, don't I mean, where the heck you been? Now, let me make this disclaimer. Majority of police officers got in the game to serve and protect. I know, because I wanted to be a police officer at one time. I married a police officer. I was going to be a police officer, then they accused me of a crime. And I say, nah, forget that, man. I wanted to be a cop, man. Y'all going to accuse me of a crime. I called in the crime. I saw a furniture store window that was broken, me coming from church. And my church is one of them contemporary churches where you can come in as you are. Coming from church, I'm seeing this. I'm like, okay, maybe this is the Lord blessing me. I'm trying to get in with the police force. I just put my application in. I want to go to the academy. I see something. I might always start acting like a cop now. So I called in there, and guess who? They arrested me. And when they did the fingerprints and everything, the brick that got thrown in and stuff that got touched, they found out it wasn't me. They're going to let me go. And I was like, you know something? I came here because I wanted to be a police officer. But man, I can't even trust y'all. I got a kid that was in my youth group that I was a leader of a youth group who ended up being a cop. They murdered him because he was going to spill the beans about some cops to Eternal Affairs. Me and him supposed to be going barrel hunting in New Bern, North Carolina, not too far from Elizabeth City. Supposed to be barrel hunting that weekend. We trying to chop it up. We haven't seen any other in a while. And I'm proud of him. He's doing good. Nice, beautiful family, kids, doing good. He got in the game to serve and protect. You know what they did with him after he started talking to Eternal Affairs? They put him on plain clothes detail, sent him to a house in the projects, and one of the officers so-called mistaked him for one of the drug dealers and shot him. When they turned his body over there, badge and everything. Family got a $1 million lawsuit, but it don't take the fact of a good man, a good black man, taking care of his family, got killed by a police officer. See, folks, this kind of stuff is the reason why people don't trust police officers, especially black people. This stuff right here, trying to cover up, trying to make sure things are not shown to everybody. Every job got crappy people. Every career got fools. Not all preachers are money-hungry grabbing people, but there are some. So no matter where you go, you're going to get some idiots. And for you people who are pro-police and Blue Lives Matter, you can't sit there and say, there's no foolish, ignorant police they never do wrong. Get out of here with that stuff. I don't even go around saying, look, black people don't do it. No, I got black people that rob, steal, and all that kind of stuff. But it's not the majority. I don't sit there and say majority of the cops are doing this foolish stuff. I say there are some foolishness. There are some race soldiers in the police department. There are, and a lot of them got black partners. And the black partners just let them do the stupid foolishness instead of checking them. Let me continue. Guys, hang in there with me, man, because seeing this stuff really ticked me off, man. Williams said, we believe the shooting was justified. Now, I did the story on the girl who was about to stab the other girl. I did that story. But I am going to talk about that. Because I am in a position of, why are you trying to put yourself in a position to get shot? And some people just, don't put yourself in a position to get shot. In other words, don't have a knife and look like you're trying to launch at somebody. You ain't got to launch it. If you're black, you ain't got to launch at the police officer. If they see the knife, they're going to shoot you. So why you going to have one in your hand? But we'll talk about that another day because, I'm not going to put myself in a position. I got to worry about putting myself in a position of getting shot eating a Dunkin' Donut. Same donut they eat. I'm sure ain't gonna brand a weapon and launch at somebody, but I haven't went over the whole story now. There's a whole lot to that story. I'm just telling you, don't put yourself in a position where you asking for the cops to shoot you, because you ain't got to ask them. Some of these police, some are nuts so in the head. Some of them are on a power trip. Some of them don't need to be police officers. Just like there's some people that don't need to be in the military. You send them into a village of people that supposed to be anti-you. If he could, he'll go and kill the whole village, even the women and kids. Anyway, let me keep going. Anyway, this guy said we believe the shooting is justified. Who cares about what you believe? Let the videotape roll. Clarissa Brown Gibson, 67, another aunt of Brown's bristle that video of the incident won't be immediately released. She's upset, she's hurt, and she criticized Womble and Williams for their comment about her nephew in open court, which they should have get. These two black women probably cussed those police officers out, but no, in some states now you can't even cuss a police officer out. They're trying to make it against the law. They're trying to go against your First Amendment right to freedom of speech and trying to make it unlawful for you to cuss them out. They want to call that verbal violence. What the heck is a verbal violence? Now, I heard of verbal abuse in relationships when people tear each other down, but you don't supposed to criminalize that. No, and these people are losing their freaking mind. They're so mammy-pammy in their emotions. They think they ought to get away with any and everything. And they actually passed the law. I think it was in Kentucky, about how you talk to a police officer. I went and go back and watch a few, probably about 7 videos back. While we were at court, the lawyer for the police said the shooting was justified. Now, how is it justified to kill an unarmed black man? Brown Gibson said after the hearing. Well, you got some people saying maybe he armed himself with that car. Still no reason to kill the dude unless you were standing in the middle of the road and you got a clear shot to run you over. Yeah. That might be a case. But let us see the video, because you can say that was the case and it may not be the case. Law enforcement is still allowed to show privately such videos to family members of those in police footage, but that's still within the discretion of the agency, and it should not be. There's a lot of states that say no, you're not going to do that. You got weak mayors, you got weak politicians, you got weak attorney generals, you got weak governors that sit there and try to cover up for this stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I wasn't voting for the Kamala Harris Joe Biden ticket, because he allowed this stuff to happen, this type of policing to happen in America. He laid the foundations for it, and then it got out of hand. Bad enough it was bad. I mean, it was bad before, but you reinforced it. You gave these people qualified immunity for foolishness. And then you got her. She did the same thing in California. Oh, we need to put him in the office. I wasn't voting for him or Trump. Sometimes you just got to say no to both. Well, somebody going to get in. Yeah, they ain't got to get in by me. The Brown family and the Pasquotank County Sheriff Department on Monday showed them just 20 minutes of last week's deadly confrontation. First of all, it's going to be tough for me to watch 1 minute. If you're going to show it to me, if I'm going to muster up the guts to see my loved one, my family be murdered, if I'm going to muster up those guts, you need to let me see it all. Don't send me 20 minutes and finally, then later on, I'm going to have to watch the whole thing. Give it to me all now. Brown was fatally shot when deputies sought to arrest him on felony drug charges. Pasquotank County Sheriff's Officer filed a petition with the court late Monday requesting permission to release the recordings to Brown's adult son, Furby. Hate to be the son. Pasquotank County Sheriff Tom Wooten pleaded for patient Monday, of course, saying independent investigators. When I ever hear that, I know it's fishy. Who hired the independent investigators? Who do they work for? 9 times out of 10, they coming from the police department, sheriff department. 9 times out of 10, they coming from the mayor's office. 9 times out of 10, they probably pushed by the governor. Independent investigators need to examine all the evidence. So should the public review. He defended the short video that was shown to the family. How are you going to defend them showing them a little bit instead of showing them all? It's their freaking family member that your people murdered. Murdered by the police officers, fact. So since that is a fact that he was gunned down, you should let them see what happened if they ask for it. The fact that you are law enforcement, which you claim you're enforcing the law, and not only you law enforcement, but you're police officers and you're hired by the people of the city, then the people of the city need to have access to those videos. They're your bosses, not the sheriff. They are. The tragic incident was quick and over in less than 30 seconds. And body cameras are shaky and sometimes hard to decipher. Wooten said that they only tell part of the story. Outside investigators, both from the SBI and the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, and 4 other sheriff officers are interviewing witnesses and gathering more information. He was shot 5 times, 4 times in the right arm, and then once in a fatal wound to the back of the head. Folks, when you hit somebody getting shot in the back of their head, that's fishy alone. Because that proves to me that he probably was trying to run from you guys. And you were too lazy to run. You ate too much donuts and you done got fat. And you don't want to run and breathe hard, so you shoot. It's like the story of the white kid that had mental issues. The cops, the cops who came to the house knew the guy, and they're oftentimes being called to that area, because they know how to handle that guy. He had mental issues. They never would have did what the cop who didn't know the guy did. He got tired and said, "Look, he was putting my officers in danger, so I shot him." First of all, they're not your officers. Number 2, they know this kid. They know how to handle the situation. You shot that kid in cold blood in front of those 2 officers who have a relationship with the kid, as well as the parents. Stop using that stuff as an excuse. Folks, they're going to always come up with an excuse for their foolishness. You're going to shoot somebody in the back of the head? Brown's death is the latest police killing of a black man that raised questions about police use of force, especially in cases involved racial minorities. The death of George Floyd in Minneapolis a year ago touched off a summer of international protest, blah, blah, John Jacob. All right, they just a bunch of bull crap. I'm going to start with this story. I got a couple more stories that I could bring up, but I'm not. I'll do that in another session. 2 stories. A black man getting gunned down. I'm not for violence at all. I'm not for violence at all, period. I think the only reason why you want to use violence is to defend yourself. Well, buddy, those cops was defending themselves. Let me rephrase that. When you really believe your life has been threatened, you have a right to defend yourself. You don't have to kill nobody to do it. You have to make the judgment. Which one? Can I take this person down? Should I take this person down? I need to. If you see the person's unarmed, Why are you gunning them down? You and your rest of your boys need to carry your fat donut eating behind over there and lose a couple pounds and burn out some energy to rest this guy. Instead of being lazy you take 1-2 steps, you tired, you're gonna pull out the gun. You probably can't even pull out the gun without exerting some energy. Let me shut up. I might have to go to Elizabeth City, go visit some family friends of mine. I'll tell you, I know that area pretty well. But nevertheless, I will always be pushing this in the forefront. Stop killing black men, number one. Stop killing unarmed black men. I don't care if you're a police officer. I don't care if you're a security guard. I don't care if you're the neighborhood watch group. I don't care if you neighbors, that former police officers. I don't give a crap who you are. You need to stop doing this. And folks, they ain't gonna stop. So what has to happen is we need to twist these politicians on to force them to pass new laws, as well enforces the laws that's already on the books concerning this stuff. You don't have a right to just kill somebody because you assuming that they broke into a house. You have no right. You have no right to hunt nobody down. You should be locked up, thrown under jail, and if there's a capital punishment for it, you should meet it. We had to meet it. You remember? Do you know how many black men got killed that was innocent on death row? Gas chamber, electric chamber. I mean, I could tell you stories of little young kids back in the 40s and 50s being murdered for whistling. And you trying to tell me a cop kill a black man, he shouldn't get the same penalty as black man killing a black man, or a black man killing a white woman? Oh, don't even let me say that. A black man killing a white woman? Either way, a death is a death. And sure, I'm upset with Asian hate and Asian violence. I'm upset with that. But when your protectors, come talk to me when your protectors start doing this stuff to you. I mean, what you got to get the mentally ill people off the streets. You got to deal with numbnuts who just full of hate and want to do something stupid. Of course, you want to get rid of them fools too. But we talking about our protectors. And it just won't stop. What's going to happen is people going to get fed up. People going to start clapping back. I already told you, if you're not a police officer and you start doing foolishness, you might have, the whole march might come to your front door. If you can do that for Nancy Pelosi when she get out of pocket, if you can do that for Chuck Schumer or any Republican that's not doing the will of the people, why would you get upset at black people when they decide that, all right, you mess with one of our neighborhood people, just because he was strolling around your neighborhood, we gonna come over there and let you know that you don't run jack. And you can bring whoever you want. You can bring your militia. You can bring your so-called neighborhood protectors. We're not coming there to start no crime, but we're coming to let you know that, bruh, we can dance. You don't own this. This country belongs to black people just as much as it belongs to whites. Matter of fact, it should be equal in everything. And that's why so many people get upset, because I said anytime you talk pushing Medicare for all, anytime you pushing for debt cancellation, college debt cancellation, cancellation, or any other thing before you push reparation, then what you're doing is asking the government to take from us what's rightful for us and fund that. No, you need to join us and say pay these people what you owe them, then we can get to this. This country owes us. And for me to sit there and say we need to get funding for this and not put taking care of the debt that you already owe, my mom would always tell me, look, bro, you got to pay your debts. What kind of man are you to try to get this finance and this finance? You can't even finish paying for this. Pay for that first. then go get fine. Then you go get some. That's called being responsible. Pay this debt so your credit can grow, so you can get more. America ain't gonna ever be able to get all this stuff, and shouldn't be able to get all this stuff until they take care of that first. Once they take care of that, you want to go for it, fine. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. This is Robert Brown, Bob TV Brown, with the Bobby Brown Show. I am done. I got more stories to come. I'll probably do that on the Route Report on the GO sometimes this week, but I had to get that off my chest. My white brothers and sisters in any other color, check your people. I check my people, you check your people. When my people get out of pocket, I don't mind. Let them know, bro, you out of pocket. You shouldn't be doing that. You making us look bad. Stop. Can you do the same for me? Anyway, always remember this. What you do tomorrow, what you do today determine your tomorrow. And you should go out there and make a mark on this world that cannot be erased. If you had not made that mark yet, you should go ahead and do it now. And I'm Robert Bobby Brown, Bob TV Brown, with the Bobby Brown Show. Good morning and good night.